Hey, what's up guys? Today we're up at the shop, my shop, Lone Star Elite Automotive. We are currently working on the beginnings of converting the Hellcat to a 15-inch rear wheel conversion. That requires a smaller brake caliper, smaller brake rotor, some suspension pieces. Then to fit the 315/60 underneath there, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to take off the Eibach Pro Kit. Since it drops at a 1 inch, I'm going to take the Eibach Pro Kit and put the stock springs back on. I'm also going to be removing the B Woody rear control arms, the shorter ones, and the shorter rear sway links, because one, now that the vehicle is going back up an inch, I don't need the shorter upper control arms. Then the shorter links in the back are specifically for a 17-inch wheel to clear that, but since I'm going to a 15-inch wheel, that requires a different setup. So let me show you guys that. So basically, real quick, here's the stock springs. Let me take an eye box off. This here is the stock rear sway link. This is the stock front sway bar link. And these here are the stock control arms. I can't remember, one of them's called something different, but the kit from HHP comes with these guys here, and they have offset bushings, and they're smaller. Not sure exactly how these go, but going to find out. Then these are the short sway bar, the toe links. Actually, no, these are the toe links, excuse me, and these are the sway bar links. So it's as you can see, these are much smaller. So then after we get that on, we are going to put on the rear differential brace. This one here specifically is for the aftermarket exhaust. Gives you a little bit more clearance. And I guess they started powder coating these because I've installed a couple of them and they were just silver, so now they're powder coated black. I'm not sure if that's a difference between the extra clearance ones or if that, it's just how they're doing it now. But we're going to put that on. Then my 15-inch brake conversion has not come in yet, so we're still waiting on that. So that's going to be another video. But over here, this is what is getting put on the car. These are M&H 28 by 4.5 18-inch wheel with the Dark Star race stars in the front. Then the big boys are the 315/60 15 with the race star Dark Stars. So these things are massive. When you look at it, it's like Jiminy Christmas. How are those going to fit? But apparently they do, and if they don't, we're going to make them fit. This is the last time we're going to see the cursed Hellcat, aka Demon Killer, with the 1-inch drop. She does look pretty sick at this ride height. I'm not much of a super slam kind of guy, although I do like the way that looks. It's just really not my style. Well, that's it. That's the last time it's going to look like this. Alright, let's go. Alright, as you can see, what I have installed already, what we're taking off today, is the upper control arms from B Woody. This one right here is a little bit shorter. I'm not sure what the exact spec is. So what that does is it corrects the alignment for whenever you lower the vehicle. It's non-adjustable. It is a fixed adjustment. So I'm not exactly sure how accurate it is, but I do know that the vehicle actually did align. But still getting a little bit of inner tire wear from being lowered. So one of the benefits that I'm glad that we're going away from the lowering springs is now I won't my headers won't hit speed bumps when I go over speed bumps, even slow, then no more funny tire alignment issues. So these are coming off. As you can see right here, these are the Eibach Sport Pro Kit in the back. Now, to get these control arms out, now you don't have to completely drop the subframe to do the springs, but to get these control arms out, we are going to have to drop the subframe. So I'll lower the exhaust down a little bit. Then I have a transmission jack that I'll put underneath here. Then I will preload it, then slowly start taking the bolts off the subframe to lower it down. I've already done this once. It's not too difficult, just a little time consuming, and you got to be careful. So let's get started. All right, so progress so far. I removed the rear half of the exhaust. Then I didn't completely take the shock out where the wire's still attached. I just disconnected it, moved it off to the side so I could just get the springs out easier, since I had to get these arms out. There's a way to do it without it, but since I'm having to do more than just one thing, I'm having to switch things up a little bit. So these bolts are much more accessible with the subframe drop down. I do have it on a nice little transmission jack, and it is safety strapped as well. The actual drive shaft is still connected, so just got to be careful, but the lift is on the locks, and then of course everything is safety strapped. Now with the subframe drop down, you can see gives access to this bolt right here, because without dropping it down, this bolt actually contacts the body of the unibody of the vehicle. So we got to drop that down. I got the springs popped out. I'm going to swap over those control arms. Then once those upper control arms are done, then we're going to start putting it back together. Then the skinny toe links and all that, that's done after we get the subframe back up. All right, so we got the subframe back up. We got the stock arms back on. These two pieces right here. The skinny toe link for the 15-inch conversion, it is on right here. Then of course, we'll go look at the other side too. This side's a little easier to see. Then we got the very, very small sway bar links. Let's see, right here. Get those installed. It is like super tight clearance next to that axle, but once the vehicle is down, once the suspension is loaded, there should be some more room there. So I'm not too worried. I don't think it's ever gonna be, hanging down this low ever. It's a big old heavy car. The next step, I didn't put the exhaust back on because the next step is we're gonna put the differential brace on. So that there I might record doing, I'm not sure. All right, so the differential brace, take these two bolts off here. These are 16 millimeter. Just zipped them off already. Then the brace goes on over that. Now do not tighten anything up. You need to get everything started before you tighten everything. Let's see, then can't forget the rubber little isolator here. You don't want this thing to be completely rigid, because if it's completely rigid, it's going to crack the case, and then that completely defeats the purpose. We'll just get this loosely started. Alright, so we got the differential brace on. Had a little bit of a tweaking that I had to do, and just figured I would needed to have more room, move the camera. But it's on, it's tightened up. The nuts we don't use because there's already threaded holes there. So got the exhaust back up. So pretty much everything's wrapped up in the rear. We're gonna put the factory springs back on in the front, and then that will conclude it for the day. Got to go get an alignment, and that will be it. All right. So we're starting on the front suspension. As you can see, I'm going back to stock, but the same procedure. If you're wanting to install lowering springs, you know, the same procedure goes for, you know, either way. So, but I'm reverting back to stock rod height. So what you got to do, the active suspension, there's a wire that runs, that's right here, and that wire runs over to a couple of little holders. I'm trying to do this all with one hand here. A couple of little holders, one right here, then one that clips up here. Then right behind the splash shield, you'll see a little wire connector, and you don't have to like take it off of the actual of its clip on the body. You just, you know, depress the little, you know, little locking mechanism here, and it just pulls right out. Then once you get that completely loose, the next step is to, which I've already done it, is to loosen the sway bar from the strut. I took the B Woody ones off, so I haven't tightened that one down at the bottom just yet. But that's the procedure: is just take that out, take the sway bar link, just the one nut off of the strut. Then from there, you have the lower bolt. Let's see, you have the lower bolt right here. Then once you get that lower bolt undone, I usually take the top control arm nut off as well. It just gives you a little bit more room. Then lower the vehicle down and take the three upper strut nuts off. Then you just slide it out. Then I'll show you how I get the spring off. Okay, so on the driver's side, you have the intercooler reservoir. It's 210 millimeters. I don't take loose the lines or drain it. Just take off the 210s, just kind of flip it over. You're not going to hurt it. Then there are 3 13 millimeters on the strut tops, and that's it. So those 3 come off. Then we already got the bolts loosened down below, so then we'll just be able to slide that on out. Don't worry about it falling. It's going to catch in that lower control arm, so it's not going to fall out or anything. So all right, so I got the strut out, got it over here on the spring compressor. Now obviously, you know, the do-it-yourselfer's not going to have, you know, a Brannick strut spring compressor at home, but, you know, hey, I have it, I'm going to use it. So the lower portion of it just secures it on the bottom. Sometimes you can grab it, just compress the spring if you're going to just replace the strut, you know, because typically what you would do is compress the spring, then loosen the top nut, then, you know, then drop the strut out from the bottom, then with the spring still compressed, you know, replace it with a new strut. But since we're doing springs, if you have the ability to grab it down below safely, then I usually will. If not, then I'll just compress the spring, you know, take the strut out, then decompress the spring. But I'm gonna do it this way, and it's pretty nifty. You just put it in here, and then you just basically screw it down until it becomes loose down in the body. You just keep working it down. Try to do this one hand here. Oh, I think that's compressed just fine. Got the top nut off. It's an 18 millimeter. And I always want to be mindful of the direction that these are going in. With the lowering springs, you have a little bit more give on the top to be able to kind of rotate the assembly. But with the stock springs, I can't remember if you do, so I usually try to go back in the same orientation that they came off, just so it makes it a little easier. And you just turn it at the top, decompress the spring. It will rise above the top of the strut. And that is it. Then I'll move these little arms here. Factory puts a nice little green mark there for the orientation for the front. It's going to be a little difficult to do with one hand here. So I'm going to cut to the next step. Alright, so I got the factory spring back on, got the 18mm nut tightened back up, and we'll just release the pressure, and just like so. And that's it. Just need to reinstall that, hook it all back up, bolt it up. Now the driver's side, it's a little bit different, no reservoir, just a fancy little cover. So you just pop this cover up, you can access those 13mm. Then basically it's just the same for this side. So the next time you see it, we'll have it all buttoned up and sitting down on the ground, 4x4 mode. Alright, well that's a wrap for today. She is sitting 4x4 mode. Got all the factory suspension pieces back on, the conversion parts for the back in preparation for the rear brake conversion. Got the factory springs back on, the factory sway bar link in the front, the modified sway bar link adjustable in the back, the skinny toe link in the back. So now all that's left is to get in alignment, and then of course wait for the brake conversion stuff to get here. Then that should be it. Then we'll be ready for race day.